Guys, welcome back to Illuminator11. If you are new to the channel, a really warm welcome to you. You are very welcome here. So as we start this new week, and we are in a powerful week, we've got the new moon coming in, perfect time for setting intentions. But today I am answering or responding to a comment that was left by one of our beautiful soul sisters on one of the videos that I did last week. And the moment that I saw that comment, I really got a strong message to actually respond to that comment in a video. And the comment itself said, "He is hurting me every day with his arrogant attitude." And just to start off by saying as well, I am responding to this comment, but this video is not just for this beautiful soul sister. It is for all divine feminines, wherever you may be on your journey. You know, you may be a divine feminine who's just gone through that time of separation with your divine masculine, and you are in that place of going through the pain and being broken, and it's really difficult. We've all been there. We know what that's like. Or you may be a few months down the line, or a few weeks down the line from that, or, you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line from that, or you may be even 10 years down the line from that. But, you know, on this journey, there can be certain things, even if you're further down the line and you are in a place whereby you're feeling good in yourself, something can happen on your journey that can just really sort of, you know, shift things, and you get back into that place of feeling all that pain with whatever it is that they may do or not do on this journey. So, you know, it's really a message for everyone. And obviously it also says he's hurting me every day with his arrogant attitude. And I'm going to be addressing that more because that's what the comment was about. But really sort of look at this video. It's not just about the arrogant attitude. It can be he's hurting me every day with his not communicating, or with the words that he's speaking to me, or with blocking me, or, you know, with not wanting to talk to me, with, you know, and telling me that he doesn't want to have anything to do with me, whatever it may be. Right? It's in relation to all those things. But I am going to be using this comment because that's what came through. So thank you to the Divine Feminine who actually put this comment, because I really got strong guidance that is actually for me to use that to give this message as well to everyone. And I was just really getting messages about it. I didn't really write anything down in relation to that, and so it's just going to be flowing, whatever it is that is meant to come through. And so, you know, let's just see what messages are coming through in relation to that. And what I'm really getting to start off with is that, you know, it's always important to remember what this journey really is. You know, and I talk about this again and again, and it is the fact that this journey is a journey of the self. You know, and I know because I am on this journey as well. When you're going through things, when we're looking at the 3D world, sometimes we get so focused on that. You know, we kind of get out of seeing the bigger picture when it comes to what this journey truly is. You know, what it is really showing you in relation to yourself, because it is a journey of the self. You know, yes, as I've said before, there is that coming together. But when it comes to that romance and that coming together, that's sort of the very last thing when it comes to this journey in relation to all the things that need to happen. I've talked about that analogy of baking a cake. And then, you know, that romance and that coming together is sort of that cherry on the icing on top of the cake. But so much more has to happen first in relation to baking the cake, getting the ingredients and all those things, to then get to the point where you then ice it, and then finally you can put the cherry on top. So there is so much more that is going on. And it is always important to always bring yourself back to remembering that, because when you when you are in this place where you're just looking at it at the romance level, then you will end up in a place where there is so much pain in relation to that. Where you're just looking at it on the 3D level, you will end up with so much pain on this journey. And it's something that you do have to kind of step away from, especially focusing so much on the 3D, and especially focusing so much on the divine masculine. You know, it is actually for your own benefit as a divine feminine, to step away from focusing on them too much on the 3D, because the only way your divine masculine is going to hurt you every day with his arrogant attitude is if you're so focused on what they're doing on the 3D or their attitude on the 3D, and that is your focus all the time. So what I'm really getting, the messages that are coming through, I'm hearing this message, real talk is what's really coming through, is about the real talk of, remembering what this journey is truly about. It's a journey of the self, and it is also a journey that is there to help you heal. So the message that I'm really getting as well is, instead of saying he is hurting me so much every day with his arrogant attitude, shift it around. It's a journey of the self, and say to yourself, I am hurting myself so much with his arrogant attitude. And just try and shift everything to you. I am hurting myself so much with his arrogant attitude. And sometimes it can be really hard to see that for yourself, because we are so used to always looking at, he's doing this to me, my divine masculine is doing this to me, that person's doing this to me, that is happening, And so let's dissect it a little bit to start off with. His arrogant attitude, this is about him. He is the one who has that arrogant attitude, or he is the one who's blocking you. He is the one who is doing certain things, or, and acting a certain way towards you. He's doing this. And why is he having that arrogant attitude? Why is he doing that within himself? That is about him. It's always important to remember that the way another person acts, it's about them. It's not about you. So, he's blocking you. He's, saying that he doesn't want to have anything to do with you. His arrogant attitude towards you. He's, not wanting to communicate. He's not responding to your message, or saying that, or he's saying to you, I am going to come and meet you, and then he doesn't turn up. And then coming up with an excuse, and then that becomes an arrogant attitude, because, he had said he would do this, but now he's pulling back, and he's just responded in this being so really off in his answer. It's his arrogant attitude, but he is doing that because it is about him. It's not about you. So it is important to remember that every single person is going through their own stuff in their own life. And he, especially as your divine masculine, he has things that he needs to work on. He needs to work on his own healing. He needs to find himself. He needs to stop running from whatever it is that's going on within him that he needs to work through for himself. And until he has managed to do that for himself, he is going to continue to act the way that he does outwardly, because he hasn't dealt with whatever it is that is going on with him. So this is not about you. It is about him. His arrogant attitude is what comes out in his, in his response to you, whatever that is going on, because I didn't speak to this divine feminine who put this post to really understand how the arrogant attitude is happening. So I don't know all that. So I'm just really talking in general here, and as I said, it's a message for everyone. So when he turns around and he says, oh, I can't meet you anymore, I'm not going to come, I'm too busy, or whatever, and it's just this really off message, and you think, but you had said that you're going to do this, now you're being arrogant towards me, or you are now blocking me, whatever it is. There are things going on with him, things that he may not be facing within himself, whether it is his own insecurity. Maybe he just doesn't feel ready to come and talk to you because he has all these insecurities within him. Maybe he really wants to come and talk to you. Maybe there's a part of him that knows that he wants to come and meet you and talk to you. But when it comes down to it, that fear that is deep within him, that insecurity that is deep within him, that not knowing how to deal with the situation that is within him, that not knowing how to express his emotions or be open and vulnerable, that is going on within him, that wounding, that trauma that he has from past relationship, or that wounding from childhood that is still holding him back from being able to open up. gets out more, and that stops him from coming forward. And then to you, when he comes across, he's just like, he may not even know how to deal with how he's actually feeling. And then, when he comes out to you and he says, no, I can't do it, or, whatever that arrogant attitude is, or he doesn't respond to your message, then for you, he's being really arrogant. But that's his only way of dealing with whatever he is going through within himself. So it's not about you. Yes, on the outside, he will come and act that way because that's the only way he can sort of like maybe put a barrier or defend himself as he feels like he's defending himself. Or even if put a barrier to really sort of, because he just can't quite deal with that situation. And then he comes across as arrogant to you. But the truth of the matter is, it's not about you. It is about him. So when you can start to see past the fact that, or what the fact that what they're doing is not about you, when you start to shift within yourself and you get out of making everything personal, taking it personally, that he's being arrogant towards me, he's doing this to me, he's doing this to me. And you start to actually see that the only reason why someone would act that way is because they are going through something that you may not even understand. They may not even understand themselves, but there is something deeper that they're going through to act that way. The way a person acts towards you is because of what's going on with them. When someone responds to you with that open heart and they are welcoming and all these things, it's because they're feeling that way within themselves. But when they are struggling within, they will come across as angry or aggressive, or when they're hurt people. When they're hurting within, they will hurt you as well on the outside, because that's what's going on within them. So it is really important to start to see things on a deeper level. He's acting that way. He's arrogant. His arrogant attitude is that way towards me because he's actually going through something within himself. And then you start to shift from taking it personally and to actually seeing that this is not about me, it's about them. And then when you start to do that, you start to get out of that place of really, getting so hurt by it all the time, every day. He's hurting me every day. That is hard. When you're constantly getting that every day and you're feeling that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the way your divine masculine acts will not be hurtful. It will. And I've been there, and it will hurt because we have feelings too. We are, and you have that love and you want to make things work. You want to have that conversation. You really just want to be around them. You want to hear their voice. You want to speak to them. You want to have that conversation so that you can understand each other. So when it doesn't happen and they are arrogant and all these things, it does hurt. So I'm not disregarding the fact that it hurts. It does. But it is important for you to start to see why it is actually hurting you and how you can get yourself more into a place of working through that hurt to release that hurt and then protecting yourself in a way so that you don't get hurt by it. So that's what this video is really mostly trying to do. So I've talked about understanding that it's about them and it's not about you, not taking it personally. When they're acting that way, not taking it personally, because when you take it personally, you will get hurt even more. So it is important for you to not take it personally. And I'm talking about these things because I've been there and I've gone through them, and I've gone through them in really, really difficult ways. And then I managed to find a way to help myself, to then be able to actually not be affected by all these things, not to the extent of being hurt every day. And I'd been in a place where I was hurt every single day, many times a day, in all sorts of different ways. And then I realized that, but what's actually happening, and I did this for like 5 months, nonstop, and then I realized that as I started to awaken as well, and everything, I had to go through that really tough time because it was part of my journey, because I was then meant to come out of it and find ways out of that within myself to then be able to help others, which is part of why I started this channel, because I went through the most difficult times on this journey for in myself and the situation I was in, and I wanted to help others as well to not go through the pain that I went through. So it is important. That's when I realized it's not about me, it's about them. And then it's also about not taking it personally. Yes, it will hurt, but at the same time, the more you start to change your perspective of how you look at it and realizing that it's not about you, it's about them, then it starts to change that getting hurt that you do, and then also realizing you don't want to be hurt every day. You don't want to be feeling in pain every day, because it's too much. You want to change that. You want to change it for yourself. So that's where you start to ask the question, how am I hurting myself with his arrogant attitude? And you shift everything back to you. Like I said, it's a journey of the self. So you start to shift everything back to you. And you can ask yourself the questions. And this is what I did, and it really helped me. Rather than saying how he's hurting me every day with his arrogant attitude, or with his not communicating, or he's refusing to talk to me, whatever it may be, he's blocking me. You start to ask yourself, how am I hurting myself? How am I hurting myself with this whole situation? How am I not being there for myself? And how could I be there for myself? So ask yourself those questions instead. What am I doing to myself on my own journey? What am I doing to myself? What could I be doing? What can I do for myself? What could I do for myself? Ask yourself those questions, because you will start to realize that, if you're the one who's sort of going to your divine masculine, trying to start that communication, trying to sending them that message, and then they don't message you back, and then it hurts you, or you're the one who's putting in all the energy in whatever way that may be, or you're the one who's trying to start that conversation, and then they don't respond, and then they're arrogant because, it's their arrogant attitude, or they respond to you in an arrogant way, but you are the one who's constantly going out, putting out the energy to them, starting whatever that may be, and then they respond in this really cold way, or so off, and their really arrogant attitude. But you're the one who keeps going back. So the fact that you are continuing to keep doing that, you are the one who's hurting yourself, by continuing to keep going for more every day. And you still get the same attitude, and you go again, and you try again, and you try again, and you still get the same thing, and you keep trying. It's you hurting yourself. So it's about you actually realizing that actually it's me who's hurting myself in this situation with their arrogant attitude. They're not ready. They're not in a place where they are able to give me more than just that arrogant attitude. So what do I do for myself? How can I stop hurting myself by putting myself in the situation again and again and again? Take a step back. Pull your energy back. Give it everything to yourself. What it is also actually showing you is also wounding that's going on within you. There is wounding, pain, trauma, fear, whether it's fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear that you may never see them again, fear that maybe if I don't bring in that conversation, I'll never hear from them. Or there's that, wanting to hear from them so much, that need for them so much that you've got to try again and then, get some response. It's showing you what's going on with you. So, it's about coming back to yourself to see, what do I need to heal within myself? That fear of rejection. Why do I have this fear so much? It can be a fear from something that happened in your childhood. Maybe you've worked through it. But the fact that it's still happening again and again, you're still going back and they're still giving you that arrogant attitude or blocking you or not talking to you or whatever, is showing you that, lessons repeat until you've actually learned them or you've healed something, and then it stops coming back again and again. So the fact that you're still going back, you're still needing them to show you that they want to speak to you or whatever it is, it's showing you that there are things that you're still working through within yourself. So it's about asking yourself what that is. Maybe you've worked on it before, but it's still coming up. You need to go deeper. Maybe you need to go back to your childhood and really see what it is that's getting you in that place of needing them so much to show you that they are not in this arrogant attitude, or they are going to meet you, or they will come and meet you. And what is it in you that's really like that? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not amazing and nice to meet up with them, to talk to them. It is. And and I would give anything to actually do that, but I will not give off my love for myself or my self-respect and and my worthiness. And there was a time when I did that, or my knowing that I am enough. There was a time when I did that because I wasn't there within myself. And I had to work on that. I had to work on that within myself. I had to work on myself, on the things that happened in my childhood. Things can be to do with father wounds. And I had to work through all those wounds in myself. And, and to really get to that place of, healing that, because everything that's happening with your divine masculine is sort of a trigger of that pain that you still have from childhood, from trauma, from things of the past that you need to work through. It's showing you what you need to work on within yourself. So rather than being so focused on he's hurting me, come back to, how am I hurting myself? What do I need? What could I do for myself? What healing could I do? Maybe you need to work with someone to work through those things on a deeper level, or maybe you need to just make time for yourself and really work through that. I went through doing all sorts of different things. I would write letters, that I didn't send to anyone. I would, cry my eyes out. I would work through it. But it was all part of me working through that to really sort of, and I'm not saying I've gone through, everything is all sorted, I'm all healed. I am not saying that at all. There will be something else that will come up that will make me, need to work on something else, or show me something else that I need to work through. So that is my point. And if you are further on your journey and you're not feeling the pain every day, you're feeling good, there will come something else that will show you that, rather than being in the place of being like, oh, they're doing this to me, bring it back to yourself. What can I do for myself? What could I do for myself to help myself move forward? How can I heal myself? What is this saying about me? I am getting hurt every day by the way that my divine masculine is acting. What is it saying about me? Bring everything back to you. And the more you start doing that, the more you are going to work on those things that are causing you to get hurt. Yes, their attitude is doing that, but it is showing you what you need to work on within yourself. Because if you keep working on yourself rather than focusing on them and what they're doing, or trying to push so much to get a response or to get communication or for them to meet you, whatever is going on, you realize when you pull your energy back to yourself and you're putting everything to yourself, there won't be a chance for them to give you that negative, that arrogant attitude, because you are giving everything to yourself rather than to them, going back and back again and again so that they can hurt you again and again. If they're hurting you because they're just not communicating, then it's something that you need to work on within yourself about why, that yes, it does. You miss them. You want to communicate with them. You want to hear their voice and everything, but you can work through it to the point that Even if you don't have that physical communication, you are okay. And I will say that because I've been in the worst part of it and I've come out on the other side where I am okay without it, even though I would love for it to come in. But I am okay. And you will realize as you put all your energy and focus on you that you will get to a point where you start to find peace. And if you don't have peace, every day there's something going on with your divine masculine that's taking away your peace. You're hurting every day. You're in pain. They're causing you to feel anxiety and pain all the time. Then it's showing you need to do something for you. What could you do for yourself? These are questions that you need to ask yourself, because finding that inner peace is something that you do for you. And if you're not having that peace and, because of their attitude or whatever, arrogant attitude, then you need to find that for yourself. You need to do that for you. So that's what I'm really being guided to just say in relation to this, whatever it may be, come back to yourself. Look at you. You're the one who needs to work on finding your peace. It's what's going on within you that is important because that's what's reflected in your outside world. So you got to do that. Stop focusing on them and their arrogant attitude. And when you focus on yourself, as I've said, you actually find that their arrogant attitude is just out there. They're doing it and it doesn't even affect you. And that's a place of peace. That's a place that you're working towards as a divine feminine. So remember, the questions that I'd put down, what am I doing to myself? Ask yourself that. Rather than they're doing this to me, it can even be other people, not just your divine masculine. What am I doing to myself in this situation? What am I not doing for myself? So what am I doing to myself? How am I hurting myself in this situation with their arrogant attitude? Am I the one going back again and getting more of that? Am I the one who's needing them so much that when they don't respond or they don't communicate, then it's hurting me? It's their arrogant attitude. What am I doing to myself? What am I not doing for myself in terms of the need for you to work on your healing, to see what's actually going on within you? What am I not doing for myself? And what could I be doing for myself? What could I be doing for myself to not be hurt anymore? What could I be doing myself to not be hurting every day anymore? What could I be doing for myself to find that inner peace? Because you deserve peace, and peace is one of the highest, vibrations that you can be in. And you are here to have that peace. So do this for you. So shift that and focus on you. Bring everything back to yourself. And that's actually going to then shift the energy when it comes to your journey. The more you're pushing for that communication, for them to do this, for them to do that, it actually pulls your divine masculine away. So because this is about energy. It's not about their 3D world or the 3D world. Release that. Let them be for now. They're not ready to come and have that conversation with you. They're not ready to not be arrogant towards you or to have this arrogant attitude towards you. They still need to work for themselves. Let them be for now. Do you. Focus on you. Work on what you need to do for yourself to get more into the place of finding that peace and that joy and that happiness within yourself. So those are the messages coming through. I hope you have a great day, guys. Sending you all so much love.